This is a box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but that is not Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It appears to be shrimp tails, which I guess if you squint real close might bear some resemblance to Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but obviously they have a very, very different flavor profile. You know what I mean? Me personally, I like to eat the tail. To me, one of the finest dishes on earth. The salt and pepper shrimp from Wohop. With the shell still on, you eat all the crunchy bits. The head, the legs, the tail. But even if it was that high caliber of shrimp in this box, can't say if that's what I would want to eat had I been expecting Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Especially, if someone else appeared to have eaten most of it. So it's understandable when the owner of this cereal box took to Twitter to register his disgust. But this post led to a scandal much greater than anyone would have ever expected, with the cereal enthusiast in question being chased off of Twitter entirely. So today, let's take a closer look at the shrimp in the cereal box. This video is sponsored by MetaPCs. I've been sponsored by MetaPCs for a few years now, and in fact I've actually been friends with some of the guys even before they were a company. And since then, MetaPCs has become a fixture of the community. MetaPCs offers tons of custom build options, including AMD and Intel systems, multiple water cooling options, custom wraps and backplates, and just about anything you'd want to put into your build. All put together by hand with expert cable management and a series of quality tests to ensure your PC is running perfectly as soon as it arrives. Your custom PC will arrive within 1 to 2 weeks. And if you want to get something even faster, MetaPCs has a wide array of ready-to-ship systems starting as low as $999. They also have multiple financing options that support everyone, no matter your credit score or if you don't have credit at all. Just go to metapcs.com and use code WANG, or just click the link in my description. In 2019, a Twitter user named Maple Cocaine stated, "Each day on Twitter, there is one main character. The goal is to never be it." It was a tweet that perfectly described the phenomenon that most active Twitter users had some awareness of, but never really had a term to place it. And there's been a lot of great Twitter main characters throughout history. Bean Dad, the Target toothbrush guy, Shane Dawson. But perhaps one of the strangest and most convoluted stories of all was the shrimp guy. Our story begins on March 22nd of 2021. Jensen Karp tweets, at CTC Squares, why are there shrimp tails in my cereal? This is not a bit. The "this is not a bit" part being pretty important, because it's not unheard of for someone to fake something like this on Twitter for attention or for a joke. And Jensen Karp was a comedy writer who'd worked on a number of TV shows. So it was pretty important for him to be 100% clear that this was a real thing he was talking about and not a joke. The tweet picks up steam pretty quickly and Cinnamon Toast Crunch responds. They asked Jensen to DM them with more details. And a while after their correspondence, Cinnamon Toast Crunch would come to this conclusion. After further investigation with our team that closely examined the image, it appears to be an accumulation of the cinnamon sugar that sometimes can occur when ingredients aren't thoroughly blended. We assure you that there's no possibility of cross-contamination with shrimp. Which, come on, that's shrimp. You're really telling me you had a whole team of people standing around with their hands on their hips looking at this picture and thinking, hey, you know what? That's not a shrimp tail, that's an accumulation of sugar. Get real. I really wish I could have been a fly on the wall to see the genesis of this tweet, because there's just no way. I feel like we're back in 2003 with the Baghdad Bob memes. So now with the story getting increasingly ridiculous, it starts to blow up even more on Twitter. And you get a bunch of people making all kinds of parodies and joke tweets about it. Like you got Jasmine Rice Girl who got nothing but shrimp box. You got Garden Boy 15 who had a shrimp Oreo. Probably my favorite tweet about the situation though, Eliza Halpern's Nathan For You tweet. To save their company, Cinnamon Toast Crunch needs to make cereal classy again. And what's classier than shrimp? As a result of the tweet's popularity, you also get people looking into the man behind the shrimp. And it turns out that Jensen Karp, the shrimp guy, is married to Danielle Fishel, aka Topanga. Topanga from Boy Meets World. And as people look into her connection, it turns out that she had actually done a promo for Coffee Mate that mentioned Cinnamon Toast Crunch, leading people to believe that she was actually sponsored by Cinnamon Toast Crunch and this was perhaps some kind of weird marketing thing. But she would clarify, I was never sponsored by CTC. That was an ad for Coffee Mate when they did a collab with CTC. We were big fans until we found shrimp tails yesterday. Also, apparently it turned out that Jensen sold shrimp-related merchandise, which made some people even more suspicious that this was some kind of marketing thing. In any case, after receiving Cinnamon Toast Crunch's ridiculous response, one of Jensen's friends tells him to take a closer look at the box. And when he does, he finds some pieces of Cinnamon Toast Crunch that have these mysterious black spots cooked right into them. And he's worried that this might be rat turds. Apparently, this box had also been a part of a 2-pack. So he opens up the other box and finds that the bag inside appears to be taped together. And also there's what appears to be dental floss inside. And all this seems to be indicative of some type of tampering at the factory. Perhaps a disgruntled employee or something. After the second box, Cinnamon Toast Crunch will release another statement. While we are still investigating this matter, we can say with confidence that this did not occur at our facility. We are waiting for the consumer to send us the package to investigate further. Any consumers who notice their cereal box or bag has been tampered with, such as the clear tape that was found in this case, should contact us. Cinnamon Toast Crunch also DM'd Jensen saying that they were going to send him a prepaid envelope, and that he should use the envelope to send them the contaminated pieces for further investigation. Of course, especially after their public statements, he did not trust them enough to send them the pieces. He said that he would keep one of the shrimp tails for himself just in case they wanted to destroy the evidence. Oh, and also they offered him some gift vouchers. General Mills would then tell him that if he didn't want to send them the contents of the box, he should instead send it to the police. So at this point, it's clear that the cereal company is just going to be completely unhelpful, and Jensen decided to do his own investigation. He recruited the help of a crustacean researcher to identify the shrimp pieces. You know, to confirm that these very obvious shrimp tails are in fact shrimp tails and not clumps of sugar, and also they would be able to identify the species of shrimp it was. He was also still concerned that those black pieces on the squares were in fact rat turds, so he wanted to have those pieces tested as well. His first choice of lab, Quest Diagnostics, told him that that's not the sort of thing they do there, but they referred him to a lab that did. The results of their testing? We never find out, likely because of the next part of the story. It starts with a subtweet by Melissa Stetton. What you may not know about the man behind the viral posts. What? Like he's a manipulative, gaslighting, narcissistic ex-boyfriend who once told me he was surprised I hadn't killed myself because my life was so worthless? This tweet quickly snowballs into more people sharing stories about him. Although many of these tweets don't outright name him, it's understood that this is about whoever the current main character of the day is, who happens to be Jensen. Ha ha ha. My quickly deleted subtweet yesterday said, oh no, I can't follow the latest viral saga cause I was blocked in 2014 because I was not gracious enough after a surprise threesome, but not before I was told to be careful or I would never work in this town again. Cinnamon Toast Shrimp Guy is not a good person. He is selfish, controlling, manipulative, and ruined my life for close to a decade. Even after he broke up with me, he kept in close contact to try to mold me into the person he wanted me to be, under the guise of, if you just do this, we can get back together and live happily ever after. But that was never the case. Please stop giving him your time and attention. And it wasn't just exes who apparently had issues with him, but people who've encountered him professionally. For example, you have comic John Cullen, who accused him of stealing his podcast in both name and concept, then pointed to an ironic quote from an interview. Listen to other podcasts, even if not religiously. Just listen to the art form. Find others you dig. Don't steal, obviously, but find inspiration. Then you have the case of Gallery 1988. It was an art gallery that Karp had run. In an article by the Daily Beast, multiple artists accused Jensen Karp of screwing them out of money through this gallery. You also have the show Drop the Mic. This was a comedy rap battle show that Jensen Karp was an executive producer on. In the same Daily Beast article, Eliza Skinner, who was the head writer of the show, recalls how he was awful to work for and would yell at her all the time. Something corroborated by another writer of the show, Brittany Nichols, who had written a lengthy Twitter thread about how miserable he was to work for. This is only scratching the surface about the things that were said about him in the days following the shrimp incident. There's so many of these, but I don't think you need me to go through every single one. You more or less get the picture. So we never hear the resolution to the shrimp story because after all these accusations, Jensen goes radio silent on Twitter, and eventually deletes his account altogether after having become a milkshake duck, which I guess is another Twitter term I should explain for those of you who don't really use that site. In 2016, Pixelated Boat tweets, "The whole internet loves Milkshake Duck, a lovely duck that drinks milkshakes." 5 seconds later, "We regret to inform you the duck is racist." And for that point on, the term milkshake duck goes on to describe this other very common Twitter phenomenon, the old surprise Twitter heel turn, a phenomenon of which Jensen Karp is perhaps one of the most notable examples. As far as I can tell, Karp has never since addressed the shrimp situation, nor has he addressed any of these allegations. And in the time since the scandal, he appears to have only worked on one project, that being his wife's directorial debut, for which he was the writer, a movie called Classmates, which debuted on Tubi this past April. And pretty much, that's the story of the shrimp in the cereal box. If you ask me, I think those really were rat turds on there, though. What else could it be? If you like this video, be sure to turn on notifications and check out my video about the Wells Fargo executive who is accused of pissing on an old lady. I'm out.